Hi, good afternoon. I feel like being back home at this hotel. This was designed by Wilson Associates, and I remember the short deadline for the APEC meeting a year and a half ago, where the team of Wilson were just finalizing the setup with the team of Sofitel. So it feels great to be back. Thanks, everybody. You will understand soon why I came on stage with Amro. I joined Mövenpick more than a year and 5 days ago. It's not that I count days on a blackboard, but it was a year and 5 days ago. And I'm just finishing a tour of 3 weeks in Asia with our team. Asia is our fastest growing part of the world. We have today 37 hotels under construction at Mövenpick, and by 2019 we'll triple our size in Southeast Asia, mainly in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and of course you will all see tonight this amazing Mövenpick Bali. Quick words, I know I have only 20 minutes, but I would like to recognize in the room the two owners rep of the Mövenpick Bali. I was speaking with the team this morning, and after a few months of operations, the hotel is running between 85 and 90% occupancy. When you tick all the boxes, great ownership, amazing space planning, strong team, very good GM, plan for opening, good pre-opening budget, good marketing plan, good marketing vision, you end up opening the hotel with full capacity as a ramp up because of the inventory available. But for the last 3 months, the hotel was running 85 to 90% occupancy. And so Alduin and so Gianto, you did a great job, so thanks for your trust, and I can't wait to have even more success for this hotel. When I left Cornell for my MBA back in 87, 88, I had some certainties, and you all remember in this room, we thought Japan would be great and big, and maybe I should have learned Japanese at that time. I strongly believed that I had to read 2 newspapers per day to keep me in the loop of what was going on in the world. So I decided to read one from America and one from Europe. And by the way, Europe, I was convinced, as originally from France, that anyway, Europe was the center of the world, and Europe would be the big player money-wise for the next 50, 60 years. And I thought at that time that I would have to pay 8% for my mortgage to buy an apartment. And we had a strong belief, for those who remember, that oil would be around $200 by 2010. I took this picture from my iPhone earlier on today. Those are the flights about to land in Southeast Asia. And when you compare 5 years ago, I think there is a stat, Andrew, our Chief Development Officer, told me, was it 5 years ago in Thailand, you had like 8 million passengers arriving in Thailand, now it's 35, correct? 10 years ago. So between 10 years ago and today, you went from 8 million to 35 million passengers landing in Bangkok. So it shows you the scope of how the world is changing. And I have to admit that I was hired at Mövenpick as a CEO for my great ability to predict the future. I said Donald Trump would never be president of America. I said the Brexit will never happen. I said there is no way Porsche will go with hybrid or a family car or Ferrari with a 4-door. I said Bentley will never go SUV 4x4. I have this unique skill to predict the future, and I was asked to tell you about the change of the hospitality, so I don't feel really great right now. As I spoke for the last 5 minutes, 600 planes landed in the world, 400,000 containers are being shipped, and 2 billion mails were sent. And by the way, you all checked your phone 3 times since I started my speech. This shows how much we are connected. What's going on in our industry right now, and thanks for your previous presentation, Manaf, it's very interesting. The margin for hotel operator is tighter and tighter, and for many reasons. And I'm not here to cry or to complain. I'm here to say that we have to learn to work differently because things are changing, and things will change even more in the very near future. So there are more and more pressure on our margin for many reasons, and I will let you read this slide. And I could comment. I have a 3-hour version of my presentation. I have a 5 hours, but I was given only 20 minutes. But I like this slide, even though some people of my team are saying, is he crazy? Is he showing some intel from Mövenpick? What I want to say is, when you say a room direct, you know the flow through, you know how much you convert. and you know how much you either convert or lose, depending half empty, half full, from a third party or for a .com. My vision, my view is we need to learn to work with them instead of fighting with them. We need to learn to work with Airbnb instead of fighting Airbnb. And there are many reasons behind it, and I want to elaborate a bit further. Uber, they don't own any taxi. So it's a given. Airbnb, they don't own room. Netflix, they don't own any cinema, and so on and so on. But it's a fact. They're here. They're part of our backyard, and we need to work for them. And by the way, Uber did not kill the taxi business. Not at all. They killed themselves, okay? Airbnb is not killing the hotel industry. I don't think Airbnb is killing the hotel industry. But the limited rooms and pricing options is maybe killing our industry. I don't think Netflix killed the video rental, if you remember the Blockbuster story, but we had some stupid fee to pay for late return. And I don't think Amazon is currently killing the retail, but it's all about customer service. Those are facts. You might disagree, but I think, as I said, we should learn to work with this new environment. So this is a few slides I had for a previous presentation. It's what I call the symmetry of brand. There are some good reasons behind it, but maybe I will skip to this one. All those brands are either dead or dying, and sorry for those who are working for BlackBerry, but I like this last one. Who knows Nokia in the room? Who knows Nokia? Nokia was #1 cell phone company in the world 5 years ago. #1 5 years ago. Who has a Nokia? Please raise your hand. Who has a Nokia? I have one, by the way. I was given by my driver a Nokia today. I have to press 2 to call the driver, but who has a Nokia? Nobody has a Nokia. You know why Nokia disappeared? When they were #1 on the market, they had 235 references on the shelves. In the meantime, Apple came up with the iPhone with 1 reference on the shelves. And they change this reference every year, or sometimes twice a year, and we're all about to throw away our iPhone 7 and buy the iPhone 8 next week, and then the iPhone 10 in a couple of years. It says a lot about our industry. So what I can say, I took one slide from a book thick like that about hospitality trend, but what I know for sure, our industry is changing and is about to change dramatically, big time. For what? Don't ask me. Maybe ask him, but don't ask me. I have no clue. What I know for sure, coming from the design world in my previous life and from a bigger operator like Hilton, I have the feeling that we switched slowly but surely from the room box to be better than home. You remember when we were working 5, 6, 7 years ago on a hotel project, the room had to be bigger and bigger with technology, with an MBA to turn on and turn off the sound system. Now, slowly and slowly, maybe because Airbnb, it feels like being home. And you see more and more hotels where the box is smaller for the room, much, much simpler, less money spent on design, and the guys at Wilson would kill me for saying that, but the public space is changing. We give more and more freedom to the client to choose the level of interaction he wants. We are even working on a project, and Amro will tell you more, of a new lobby concept for Mövenpick where we won't have any front desk anymore. No more front desk agent. So the world is changing because those new clients, they want to choose the level of interactivity they want. They want to choose the level of comfort, of sitting they want. And they want this public space to be their place of living, and the room is just to sleep now. Who is working on a desk in his bedroom today? I'm working on the bed on my lap with a laptop or with my iPad. But everything is changing. For what? Once again, I'm not sure. But those are key changes that we can't ignore. The Generation Z, the Generation Y, the emerging economies. And by the way, speaking about emerging economies, look at this one, sorry, the E7. Remember, 88, Japan will be strong, Europe will be the #1 feeder market for hospitality industry. I have 3 kids. My youngest one is 18 years old. And a couple of years ago, I played a game with him. I printed out the G20 2000, the 20 highest GDP in the world in 2000. You remember the ranking? America, Germany, France, England, France, I wish, Spain, Italy, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, and Korea, and so on, and China, and so on, and India, and Brazil, and so on. And then I did 2001, 2002, 2003, and I did put the printout on the wall, and you could easily see the swing of the world where France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Germany somehow, England are going south. And in the meantime, you started to see Korea, Brazil, Russia, China, Indonesia going up. The fact is, and this is a fact, more than 50% of the total GDP is happening on those E7 countries. And it's not only China, okay? So, as I said, our industry is changing. Our industry has moved a lot. How will it change physically, hardware-wise? I'm not so sure, I told you, okay? Bentley will never go SUV, but I don't know how our industry will go, but it will go somewhere for sure. So what have we learned lately at Mövenpick? We have done a lot of work for the last 12 months at the XCOM level. I have an amazing XCOM team of 9 people, and we decided to go from 9 to 20, and you will understand why I say this. And we decided to tackle the millennials, and we decided to take the knowledge we don't have from those guys, and we decided to put ourselves in the shoes of 2020 and what will be the hospitality of tomorrow. We spoke a lot about technology. We spoke about guest loyalty. And more we realized that you don't speak about guest loyalty anymore. You speak about guest recognition. People are less and less loyal to brands. They are more and more loyal to an experience. I don't run after points anymore. Why do I fly Emirates? Because I live in Dubai. Why do I fly Emirates? For only one reason, Terminal 3. For those who travel to Dubai, they know what I mean. You don't want to go to Terminal 1 after midnight for the night flight. You don't want to go to Terminal 2. You want to go to Terminal 3 because it's a fast track. You go to your gate directly. You can leave home half an hour before flying, and bang, you're at your plane. Terminal 1, it's a different story. So what's next? And I know I have only 20 minutes on stage. I have decided to hand over to Amro. We have decided to go from 9 XCOM members, so Chief Development Officer, I represent Asia, I represent Middle East Africa, President for Europe, Global HR, Global Commercial, and so on. The usual boring stuff, old, 50, 55 years old, gray hair, more or less big guys, bald for some of them, no women, no diversity, about 600 years of experience around the table. Some would say dinosaur, some would say old guys. We decided to change that, for real. So I would like to call Amro on stage, and he will tell you more about what we've done and what we're doing, and then I will come back to tell you about the outcome. Amro.
Thank you so much, Olivier. Hello, everyone. I'll start quickly with just a top-level introduction about myself, and then I'll go into my experience so far with the company and how the ride's been since really Olivier joined. So quickly, my name's Amro Kuder. I'm the Director of Digital and Distribution for Mövenpick, sitting in the corporate office in Dubai. And when I joined the company 3.5 years ago, coming from Jumeirah Group and the corporate office there, it was really exciting for me because when I came, Mövenpick was struggling a little bit on the digital front. There was a lot of work to do, and I came in really excited about the fact that as a professional with Jumeirah, I will be able to make a difference and make an impact as soon as we got started. And it happened, and within a couple years, the company's overhauled its website and its digital experience. But then about a year ago, a few months after Olivier joined, when the announcement came out about the Millennial XCOM opportunity, although not everyone in the company was excited about it or thought it was serious, some people were saying it's potentially a PR stunt, some other companies have done it, and not necessarily have achieved much or have communicated much about it. The millennials were not taking, were taking this seriously. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Olivier, there was, after the announcement, 90 or close to 100 applications for that positions. An equal opportunity was given to everyone within the company. We're 16 or 15,000 employees worldwide, the majority of which are millennials or of that generation. And to see that kind of excitement and to see that the company was taking this activity so seriously was refreshing. And back to my point about being able to make a difference, this really meant that we, in that generation and that age group, can literally make a difference at this point, assuming that the company was going to take it forward. So 90 applications later, 3 rounds of interviews, psychometric tests, comprehension tests, and more interviews. Here we are, and who you're looking at today are 10 essentially professionals from around the world. 6 of them are from Mövenpick that come from India, Thailand, Syria, Germany, Switzerland, and Poland, and 4 of which are external entrepreneurs and high achievers around the world that the company wanted to bring in as well to really understand their point of view as travelers, but also as entrepreneurs and as millennials and what they can bring to the table. So, our first session was about an introduction, and it was a one and a half day session. And we quickly realized that right after that, we were going to hit the ground running, and we're going to start being involved in what the company's trying to achieve, bring into the table some of the ideas that we have, and we did. And so about 7 months ago, we had guest experiences workshops where we, the millennials, were sitting right beside the XCOM and high executives within the company, showcasing what we have in terms of ideas, of experiences, essentially bringing a lot of what the operational and day-to-day activities of the business are like to the XCOM, which, although with many years of experience, have to a certain extent potentially disconnected from that day-to-day life. We just came from Thailand a couple days ago, where the quarterly XCOM meeting was held. And from a 10-person meeting, it has quickly become 20. And sitting as a 31-year-old, sitting in between 2 50-year-olds plus with the amount of experience in the industry, in life, that is 2 to 3 times the amount of mine. One, it can get a little boring very quickly, but also intimidating. And I'm glad to say that really, as the first kind of XCOM we've been really involved in, it wasn't. And I truly and transparently believe, Jeffrey, I truly and transparently believe that the last 2 days have gone as if we were part of the team. Everyone in the XCOM was open about the ideas that we had to bring to the table. We made more than 25 decisions about the company, whether it's brand related or operations related, just within the 2 days. And the whole team, whether it's XCOM or XCOM-Y, were very much involved in the process. And I think the exciting thing here is that with all the experience, we've been able to hold back on some of the decisions, and I'll just bring a couple examples. For example, our brand compliance VP has been overhauling our guest experience survey. And one of our XCOM-Y members quickly jumped over and said, guest experience surveys, the 4 or 5 step ones that you receive in an email a few days after you've left, are long gone. And we looked at Uber as a very good example, and similar companies like it. It's just a 5-star rating. If you have an issue, you mention it. And it's more about grabbing a high volume and penetration of feedback on the spot while our users or guests are at our properties, rather than waiting for them to leave and not being able to do something about it. And so this feedback was taken forward, and we will go now and look into the feasibility of that kind of migration in the survey culture, whether it's going to bring enough data for us. How do we change, what the bonuses across the company rely on, customer experience, and how does this 5-star rating compare to all the 4 or 5 questions and the ratings that we were getting previously. 1 more minute to go. A couple more examples. The lobby lounge, which Olivier mentioned. We've been involved in the sessions where we redesigned essentially what we'd like the lobby lounge to be. We have very much gotten to the point where we have proposal of completely removing the front desk and replacing kind of the welcoming experience as more of a homey guest and host feel. And so each of the Millennial XCOM have been assigned alongside some XCOM members to lead these projects, to actually invite external professionals such as James Law from Singapore to come in and tell us and educate us about what we should think about, to bring in professionals from across the field and participate and hopefully be able to make a difference and really a true difference in the future of Mövenpick, but hopefully also the success of it. So thank you,
Thanks,
Olivier.
Amro. So what Amro is telling you is that we are now 20 around the table. They have full access of the same level of information. They are fully aware of compensation, GM assessment, strategical decisions. They are part of the team. And the way we are around the table, it's one XCOM, one XCOM Y, one XCOM, one XCOM Y. Out of 10 decisions, as an odd number, 10 just to take a number, 5 decisions were taken because of the XCOM around the table. We would have definitely taken a different decisions. 3 decisions were taken from the old guys, and 2 decisions were huge discussions. What I can tell you is that Mövenpick today is the very first company in the world to have migrated our PMS to the cloud with Opera 9. And we're about to announce next week the selection of our CRM to the cloud. So we'll be the first company, all industry, to be cloud-to-cloud CRM to property management system. And all of this is thanks to the push from what I call those kids, but they're not kids anymore. So you need to be very much open-minded. I know the industry is changing. I know everything is changing fast-track wise. Being able and willing to share some confidential information is kind of brutal. My head of HR next to me always say, hey, Olivier, are you sure you want to share this with the XCOM Y? We share everything. We're 20 around the table. It's a lot, but they bring so much. It has changed the whole shape of the company. So last but not least, sorry for this one. It's a joke from one of my guys. As a conclusion, thanks for listening to us. It will change. It will change big time. But we have the safety belt. Change for what? I'm not sure, but it will change for sure, and we'll be ready. We're already there with Opera 9. The Mövenpick Bali is full swing with Opera 9 on the cloud. The CRM will be launched very soon, and soon we'll be able to launch a recognition program. And last but not least, listen to this song. It was done in 1970, so as I told you, we're a very modern company. So they asked us to remix the song of Mövenpick, so sooner or later you will have the